Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today is Utthana Ekadashi, but according to the Vaishnav calendar, it is not suitable for fasting. So the fasting is done tomorrow on the Vyanjali Mahadvadashi. So let us read the katha for Utthana Ekadashi. It has 4 names: Haribodhini, Prabodhini, Devothani and Utthana Ekadashi. It is the second Ekadashi of the Kartik Shukla, that is the light fortnight in the month of Kartik. Lord Brahma said to Narad Muni, "Dear son, O best of the sages, I shall narrate to you the glories of Haribodhini Ekadashi, which eradicates all kinds of sins and bestows great merit and ultimately liberation upon the wise persons who surrender unto the Supreme Lord. O best of the Brahmanas, the merits acquired by bathing in the Ganges remain significant only as long as Haribodhini Ekadashi does not come. This Ekadashi, which occurs during the light fortnight of the month of Kartik, is much more purifying than a bath in the ocean, at a place of pilgrimage, or in a lake. This sacred Ekadashi is more powerful in nullifying sin than 1000 Ashwamedh sacrifices and 100 Rajsuya sacrifices. Narad Muni inquired, "O father, please describe the relative merits of fasting completely on Ekadashi. Eating supper without grains or beans, or eating once at midday without grains or beans?" Lord Brahma replied, "If a person eats once at midday on Ekadashi, the sins of his previous birth are erased. If he eats supper, the sins acquired during the previous 2 births are removed. And if he fasts completely, the sins accumulated during his previous 7 births are eradicated. O son, whatever is only rarely achieved within the 3 worlds is obtained by him who strictly observes the Haribodhini Ekadashi, or which is also known as Prabodhini, Devothani and Utthana Ekadashi. A person whose sins equal Mount Sumeru in volume sees them all reduced to nothing if he completely fasts on Papharini Ekadashi. This is another name for this Ekadashi. The sins a person has accumulated over 1000 previous births are burned to ashes if he not only fasts but also remains awake throughout the Ekadashi night, just as a mountain of cotton can be burned to ashes if one lights a small fire in it. O Nara, the person who strictly observes this fast achieves the results I have mentioned. Even if one does a small amount of pious activity on this day, following the rules and regulations, one will earn merit to Mount Sumeru in volume. However, a person who does not follow the rules and regulations given in the scriptures may perform pious activity equal to Mount Sumeru in volume, but he will not earn even a small amount of merit. One who does not chant the Gayatri Mantra 3 times a day, who disregards the fast days, who does not believe in God, who criticizes the Vedic scriptures, who thinks the Vedas bring only ruination to one who follows their injunctions, who enjoys another's wife, who is utterly foolish and wicked, who does not appreciate any service that has been rendered to him, or who cheats others, such a sinful person can never perform any religious activity effectively. But he, a Brahman or a Shudra, whoever tries to enjoy another man's wife, particularly the wife of a twice-born person, is said to be no better than a dog-eater. O best of the sages, any Brahman who enjoys sex with a widow or a Brahman lady married to another man brings ruin to himself and his family. Any Brahman who enjoys illicit sex will have no children in his next life, and any past merit he may have earned is ruined. Indeed, if such a person displays any arrogance towards a twice-born Brahman or a spiritual master, he loses all his spiritual advancement immediately, as well as his wealth and children. These 3 kinds of men ruin their acquired merits: he whose character is immoral, he who has sex with the wife of a dog-eater, and he who appreciates the association of rogues, Whoever associates with sinful people and visits their homes without a spiritual purpose will go directly to the abode of Lord Yamaraj, the superintendent of death. And if someone eats in such a home, his acquired merit is destroyed, along with his fame, duration of life, children, and happiness. Any sinful rascal who insults a saintly person soon loses his religiosity, economic development, and sense gratification, and he at last burns in the fire of hell. Anyone who likes to offend saintly persons or who does not interrupt someone who is insulting saintly persons is considered no better than an ass. Such a wicked man sees his dynasty destroyed before his very eyes. A person whose character is unclean, who is rogue or a swindler, or who always finds fault with others does not achieve a high destination after death, even if he gives charity generously or performs other pious deeds. Therefore, one should refrain from performing inauspicious acts and perform only pious ones, by which one will acquire merit and avoid suffering. However, the sins of one who, after due consideration, decides to fast on this Ekadashi are erased from 100 previous lives, and whoever fasts and remains awake overnight on this Ekadashi achieves unlimited merit and after death goes to the supreme abode of Lord Vishnu. And then thousands of his ancestors, relatives, and descendants also reach that abode. Even if one's forefathers were implicated in many sins and are suffering in hell, they still attain beautifully ornamented spiritual bodies and happily go to Vishnu's abode. O Narad, even one who has committed the heinous sin of killing a Brahman is freed of all stains on his character by fasting on this Ekadashi and remaining awake that night. The merit that cannot be won by bathing in all the places of pilgrimage, performing a horse sacrifice, or giving cows, gold, or fertile land in charity can easily be achieved by fasting on this holy day and remaining awake throughout the night. Anyone who observes this Ekadashi is celebrated as highly qualified and makes his dynasty famous. As death is certain, so losing one's wealth is also certain. Knowing this, O best of sages, one should observe a fast on this day so dear to Hari. All places of pilgrimage in the three worlds at once come to reside in the house of a person who fasts on this Ekadashi. Therefore, to please the Lord, who holds a disc in his hand, one should give up all engagements, surrender, and observe the Ekadashi fast. One who fasts on this Ekadashi is acknowledged as a wise man, a true yogi, an ascetic, and one whose senses are truly under control. He alone enjoys this world properly, and he will certainly achieve liberation. This Ekadashi is very dear to Lord Vishnu, and thus it is very essence of religiosity. Even one observance of it bestows the topmost reward in all the three worlds. O Naradji, whoever fasts on this Ekadashi will definitely not enter the womb again, and thus faithful devotees of the Lord Godhead, Supreme Godhead, give up all varieties of religion and simply surrender to fasting on this Ekadashi. Remember, Ekadashi is not different to Lord Hari. For that great soul who honors this Ekadashi by fasting and remaining awake through the night, the Supreme Lord Sri Govinda personally terminates the sinful reactions that soul has acquired by the actions of his mind, body, and words. O son, for anyone who bathes in a place of pilgrimage, gives charity, chants the holy names of the Supreme Lord, undergoes austerities, and performs sacrifices for God, the merit thus earned all becomes imperishable. A devotee who worships Lord Madhav on this day with first-class paraphernalia becomes free from the great sins of 100 lifetimes. A person who observes this fast and worships Lord Vishnu properly is freed from great danger. This Ekadashi pleases Lord Janardhan so much that he takes the person who observes it back to his abode. And while going there, the devotee illuminates then 10 universal directions. Whoever desires beauty and happiness should try to honor Haribodhini Utthana Ekadashi, or the Prabodhini Ekadashi, or the Pap Harini Ekadashi, especially if it falls on Dwadashi. The sin of one's past 100 births. That is why we fast on the Mahadvadashi. The sins of one's past 100 births, the sins committed during childhood, youth, and old age, in all those lifetimes, whether those sins are dry or wet, are nullified by Supreme Lord Govinda if one fasts on this Ekadashi with devotion. This Ekadashi is the best Ekadashi. Nothing is unobtainable or rare in this world for the one who fasts on this day, for it gives food grains, great wealth, and high merit, as well as eradication of all sin, the terrible obstacle to liberation. Fasting on this day is 1,000 times better than giving charity on the day of solar or lunar eclipse. Again, I say to you, O Naradji, whatever merit is earned by one who bathes in a place of pilgrimage, performs sacrifices, and studies the Vedas is only 1/10,000,000th the merits earned by the person who fasts but one on this Ekadashi. Whatever merit one has acquired in his life by some pious activities becomes completely fruitless if one does not observe the Ekadashi fast and worship Lord Vishnu in the month of Kartik. Thus you will attain the desired goal, the highest perfection. A devotee of the Lord should not eat in another's house or eat food cooked by a non-devotee on this day. If he does so, he achieves only the merit of fasting on a full moon day. Philosophical discussions of scriptures in the month of Kartik pleases Sri Vishnu more than one gives elephants and horses in the charity or performs a costly sacrifice. Whoever chants and hears descriptions of Lord Vishnu's qualities and pastimes, even if but a half or even a fourth of a verse, attains the wonderful merit derived from giving away 100 cows to the Brahman. Brahmana. O Narad, during the month of Kartik, one should give up all kinds of ordinary duties and devote one's full time and energy, especially while fasting, to discussing the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Such glorifications of Sri Hari on the day so dear to the Lord Ekadashi liberates 100 previous generations. One who spends his time enjoying such discussions, especially in the month of Kartik, achieves the result of performing 10,000 fire sacrifices and burns all his sins to ashes. He who hears the wonderful narrations concerning Lord Vishnu, particularly during this month of Kartik, automatically earns the same merit as bestowed upon someone who donates 100 cows in charity. O great sage, a person who chants the glories of the Lord Hari on Ekadashi achieves the merits earned by donating 7 islands. Narad Muni asked the glorious Father, O universal sire, best of all demigods, please tell me how to observe this most sacred Ekadashi. What kind of merit does it bestow upon the faithful? Lord Brahma replied, O son, a person who wants to observe the Ekadashi should rise early on Ekadashi morning during the Brahma Muhurat, 1.5 hours before sunshine until 50 minutes before sunrise. He should then clean his teeth and bathe in a lake, river, pond, or in his own home as the situation warrants. You can even say Ganga Ganga 3 times while you're having a shower or bath, that is equal to bathing in the Ganges, or you can invoke the Ganga Jal with the mantra in the pot of water. It's up to you. Or if you have Ganga Jal at your disposal, you can put a few drops of Ganga Jal in your water. After worshipping Lord Keshava, he should listen carefully to the sacred descriptions of the Lord. He should pray to the Lord, thus, O Lord Keshava, I shall fast on this day, which is so dear to you, and tomorrow I shall honor your sacred prasadam. O lotus-eyed, O infallible one, you are my only shelter. Kindly protect me. Having spoken this solemn prayer before the Lord, with a great love and devotion, one should fast cheerfully. O Narad, whoever remains awake on the night of this Ekadashi, singing beautiful song, glorifying the Lord, dancing in ecstasy, playing delightful instrumental music or for his transcendental pleasure, and reciting the pastimes of Lord Krishna as recorded in bona fide Vedic script literature, such a person will most assuredly reside far beyond the 3 worlds in the eternal spiritual realm of God. On this Ekadashi, one should worship Krishna with camphor, fruits and aromatic flowers, especially the yellow agaru flower. One should not absorb oneself in making money on this important day. In other words, greed should be exchanged for charity. This is the process for turning loss into unlimited merit. One should offer many kinds of fruits to the Lord and bathe him with water from a conch shell. Each of this devotional practice, when performed on this Ekadashi, is 10 million times more beneficial than bathing in all the places of pilgrimage and giving all forms of charity. Even Lord Indra joined his palms and offers his obeisances to a devotee who worships Lord Janardhan with first-class Agastya flowers on this day. The Supreme Lord Hari is very pleased when he is decorated with nice Agastya flowers. O Narad, I give liberation to one who devotedly worships Sri Krishna on this Ekadashi month in the month of Kartik with the leaves of the bale tree, and the one who worships Lord Janardhan with fresh tulsi leaves and fragrant flowers during this month. O son, I personally burn to ashes all the sins he has committed for 10,000 births. One who merely sees Tulsi Maharani, touches her, meditates on her, narrates her story, offers obeisances to her, prays to her for grace, plants her, worships her or waters her, lives in the abode of Lord Hari eternally. O Narad, one who serves Tulsi Devi in these 9 ways achieves happiness in the higher world for as many thousands of yugas as there are roots and subroots growing from mature tulsi plants. When a full-grown tulsi plant produces seeds, many plants grow from these seeds and spread their branches, twigs, and flowers, and these flowers also produce numerous seeds. For as many thousands of kalpas as there are seeds produced this way, the forefathers of one who serves Tulsi in these 9 ways will live in the abode of Lord Hari. Those who worship Lord Keshava with kadamba flowers, which are very pleasing to him, gets his mercy and do not see the abode of Yamraj, the death personified. What is the use of worshipping someone else if all desires can be fulfilled by pleasing Lord Hari? For example, a devotee who offers him Bakula, Ashoka, and Patali flowers is freed from misery and distress for as long as the sun and moon exist in this universe, and at last he achieves liberation. O best of Brahmanas, an offering of Kaner flowers to Lord Jagannath brings as much mercy upon the devotee as that earned by worshipping Lord Keshav for 4 yugas. One who offers tulsi leaves, flowers, or the manjaris to the Sri Krishna during the month of Kartik receives more merits than can be obtained by donating 10 million cows. Even a devotional offering of newly grown sprouts of grass brings with it 100 times the benefit obtained by ordinary ritualistic worship of the Supreme Lord. One who worships Lord Vishnu with the leaves of Samika tree is freed from the clutches of Yamraj, the Lord of Death. One who worships Vishnu during the rainy season with Champaka flowers or the jasmine flowers never returns to the planet of Earth again. One who worships the Lord but with a single Kumbhi flower achieves the boon of donating a pala of gold, which is 200 grams. A devotee offers a single yellow flowers of the Ketaki or wood apple tree to Vishnu. He rides on Garuda and is freed from the sins of 10 million births. Furthermore, one who offers Lord Jagannath flowers and also 100 leaves anointed with red and yellow sandalwood paste will certainly come to reside in Shvetadweep for far beyond the coverings of this material creation. O greatest of Brahmans, Sri Narad, thus after worshipping Lord Keshava, the bestower of all material and spiritual happiness on Haribodhini Ekadashi, one should rise early the next day, bathe in a river, chant japa of Krishna's holy names, and render loving devotional service to the Lord at home to the best of one's ability. To break fast, the devotee should first offer some prasadam to brahmanas and then only after their permission eat some grains. Thereafter, to please the Supreme Lord, the devotee should worship his spiritual master, the purest of the Lord's devotees, and offer him sumptuous food, nice cloth, gold, and cows according to devotees' means. This will certainly please the Supreme Lord, the holder of the disc. Next, the devotee should donate a cow to Brahman, and the devotee, if he has neglected some rules and regulations of spiritual life, he should confess them before the Brahmanas, devotees of the Lord. Then the devotee should offer them some dakshina, money. O king, those who have eaten supper on Ekadashi should feed a Brahmana the next day. That is very pleasing to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. O son, if a man has fasted without asking the permission of his priest, or if a woman has fasted without the permission of her husband, he or she should donate a bull to the Brahmana. Honey and yogurt are also proper gifts for a Brahmana. Someone who has fasted from ghee should donate milk. One who has fasted from grains should donate rice. One who has slept on the floor should donate a bedstead with a quilt. One who has eaten on a leaf plate should donate a pot of ghee. One who has remained silent should donate a bell. And one who has fasted from sesame should give gold in charity, and feed a Brahmana couple with a sumptuous food. A man who wants to prevent baldness should donate a mirror to the Brahman. One who has second-hand shoes should donate shoes, and one who has fasted from salt should donate some sugar to the Brahmana. During this month, everyone should regularly offer a lamb to the Lord Vishnu or to Srimati Tulsi Devi in a temple. An Ekadashi fast is complete when one offers a qualified Brahmana a gold or copper pot filled with ghee and ghee wicks, along with 8 water pots containing some gold and covered by cloths. One who cannot afford these gifts should at least offer a Brahmana some sweet words. One who does so will surely attain the full benefit of fasting on Ekadashi. After offering this obeisance and begging permission, the devotee should eat his meal on this Ekadashi. The Chaturmasya ends, so whatever one gives up during Chaturmasya should now be donated to Brahmanas. One who follows this process of Chaturmasya receives unlimited merit, O King of Kings, and goes to the abode of Lord Vasudeva after death. O King, anyone who observes the complete Chaturmasya without break attains eternal happiness and does not receive another birth. But if someone breaks fast, he becomes either a blind man or a leper. Thus, I have narrated to you the complete process for observing the Haribodhini Ekadashi. Someone who reads or hears about this achieves the merit earned by donating cows to a qualified Brahman. Thus ends the narration of the glories of the Kartik Shukla Ekadashi, also known as Haribodhini Ekadashi or Utthana Ekadashi or the Utthana Ekadashi from the Skanda Puran. There is some more description from Hari Bhakti Vilas as follows. Prabodhini uposya eva na garbhe vishate naraha sarva dharman parityajya tasmat kurvita narada. Hari Bhakti Vilas 16/289 from Skanda Puran, spoken by Lord Brahma. O Narad Muni, who fasts on this Prabodhini, when the Lord gets up, Ekadashi, on this Ekadashi, does not enter again into the womb of another mother. Therefore, a person should give up all varieties of occupation and fast on this particular Ekadashi. Lord gets up on this Ekadashi, as we know. Dugdha dhi bhogi shaine bhagwan ananto yasmin dine swapiti chatha vibudhyate cha tasmin ananya manasam upavasa bhajam kamam dadati abhimatam garudanka shai. This is from Hari Bhakti Vilas as well. One who fasts with one-pointed intelligence on the day when Supreme Lord Sri Hari, who sleeps on a bed of the enemy of Garuda snake, goes to take rest in the milk ocean on the bed of Anant Shesa, and also the day he gets up, gets all his desire fulfilled. This Prabodhini Ekadashi is famous for rewarding the devotion to Lord Sri Hari. O best of sages, the personality of Ekadashi is present on this earthly planet in an unmanifested form of Hari. Bhakti Prada Hare Satu Namnakshata Prabodhini Yas Vishnu Paramurti Avyakta Anek Rupini Sakshipta Manushe Loke Dvadadi Buni Pungava. This is from Hari Bhakti Vilas as well. This Sri Sanatan Goswami remarks in his Digdarshini Tika that one who exactly observes the Ekadashi fast by observing this, he directly worships Lord Sri Hari. This is the meaning of this verse. Therefore, Ekadashi, it is said to be equal to Lord Sri Hari himself. Chaturdha Grahya Vai Chirnam Chaturmasya Vratam Naraha Kartike Shukla Pakshe Tu Dvadasyam Tat Samacharet. This is from Hari Bhakti Vilas 16/412 from Mahabharat, and the earlier one was from Varahapuran. The one said before was from Padma Puran, and the first one was from Skanda Puran. I'm referring to the verses which I spoke earlier on. So this verse is from Mahabharata. It says, a person who observed Chaturmasya fast stated in 4 different ways should end his fast on the Dwadashi day on the light fortnight of the month of Kartik. Of course, in ISKCON we do Chaturmasya and Kartik Vrat from Purnima to Purnima. One rat, a female mouse, had once burnt a ghee lamp which was offered by someone else on Ekadashi day. By doing so, she achieved a rarely achievable human form and at last attained the topmost destination. Srila Sanatana Goswami writes in his Digdarshani Tika, in this verse it is found that it is possible to attain the results of directly offering a lamp of on Ekadashi. The history of the mouse is very famous in the Padma Puran Kartik Mahatmya. In a temple of Lord Vishnu, there was a mouse living who was eating the ghee from the extinguished ghee lamps which had been offered by others to him. One day when the mouse offered to Lord Vishnu, of course, one day when the mouse felt hungry to eat ghee, she tried to eat the ghee from a lamp which was not yet extinguished. While eating ghee from the lamp, the cotton wick got stuck in her teeth. Thus the ghee wick had a flame and the mouse started jumping in front of the Lord's deity form and thus died due to fire. But Lord Vishnu accepted the jumping of that mouse with a lit ghee wick in her mouth as his arti. In the end, he gave her liberation, the topmost destination. Glories of remaining awake on the night of this Ekadashi from Padma Puran or the Kartik Mahatmya is as follows. The sin accumulated in thousands of previous births burn like a mass of cotton for someone who remains awake during Prabodhini Ekadashi. Even if guilty of the most heinous sins such as killing a Brahman, a sage, a person shakes away sins by remaining awake in Vishnu's honor throughout the night of this Prabodhini Ekadashi. All his mental, vocal and physical sins will be washed away by Sri Govinda. 388 to 390 results that are difficult to obtain even with great yagyas such as Ashwamedh effortlessly accrue to those who remain awake during this Prabodhini Ekadashi. 391. The Lord should be taken out on a grand Rath Yatra festival on this day after awakening him from his sleep for the 4 months of Chaturmasya, that is from Shaini Ekadashi, when the Lord had taken rest on the milk ocean. The festival has been elaborately described in the Padma Puran. So we all remember when the Chaturmasya began, Lord took rest on the Devshaini Ekadashi, and this is the Utthana Ekadashi or the Utthana Ekadashi. The Lord wakes up, and I wish you all a very happy fasting for this Ekadashi tomorrow on the Vyanjali Mahadvadashi. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna.